how do you think about Korea as a student who is studying abroad in US?
Well, Korea is like it's just stressful. It's just stressful and it's all about memorizing. You will have very less chance to have presentations or communicative opportunity or debating something like that, but just testing your knowledge and memorizing skill. You have to memorize the terms and the definition of this word and the things. What is this? What is this about it? But in the America, of course, we have to memorize a lot of things too. But we're based on like participation, like how many times and how deeply you're engaging with class and your professor instructors. Share your opinion, debating, giving a presentations, add your thoughts. What is your idea? What is your intention? Something like that. So I would say American education is more interactive and you have to participate and you have to think about the topic to participate those kind of discussions. But Korea is like basically testing your memorizing skill and testing your understanding. Both have like pros and cons. Maybe Korean education system is very efficient because you just need to memorize it and with a lot of skills you'll remember the things. But in America you need a lot of time to have a debate and you have to do a lot of research. You have to spend a lot of time to prepare those kind of materials. So I would say it's a difference between efficiency, time, but eventually personally believe the American education way with the more interactions have a more chance to think about the topics deeply. So I prefer American education way.
Okay, let's go to the final theme, society and family. First of all, can you introduce yourself?
I'm currently studying one of the university or college in the Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area.
What country are you from and how have you been in here?
I'm from Korea, specifically South Korea, and I started my educational journey in the America. Started from August 2022. This is my third year in the America.
Okay, then sometimes my Korean friends I feel some dangers about drug or gun in
Uh-huh.
the US.
Uh-huh.
In your experience, how do you think about that problems?
Yeah, those are very serious issue, and since in Korea we don't have public resources to use fire weapon arms like pistols and rifles in general, and drugs, yeah, those are like very strictly prohibited as well. But in California, honestly, I never have seen gun yet, not yet, probably not yet, hopefully not yet, never ever again. But and drug issues, like, yeah, I think drug is way more serious than maybe firearm issue because it's really easy to approach and buy them, use them, and get addicted to them. Because this society, like this 21st century, is like going very fast and crazy. So people getting stressed easily, and they need something to de-stress. But as well as we're like very internet connected culture, so many people started to prefer internet like an online method to communicating each other, like social media messengers or just textings instead of like meeting in person. So some of people started to feel loneliness and they started to having a like, oh, I feel like I'm abandoned from my society and my group. And they started to do the drugs. And that's like just literally destroying one person. And that's exactly happening in like San Francisco right now. It's like with the homeless issue. Like homeless people, they experience a lot of gentrification issues too. They're depressed. There's nothing to solve. They're like bad and very mad, discouraged feeling. So they started to do the drugs, a lot of marijuanas, even something more bad things. So yeah, I take those issues very seriously, and I believe that's the very first issue politicians deal with it right now.
Okay, then do you really feel that Bay Area is very dangerous place to live in?
Well, I would say no, because I don't think it's like drastically dangerous place. Because Korea is considered as one of the safest place in the world, and we can get like a police officer service very quickly as well. But if you just mind, you're in overseas, like during the nighttime, there's no lights around the street, not much. So it might something happen accidentally, and we have to be cautious about car theft and some kind of things. But just a few points to remind ourselves, not drastically dangerous, like a crazy place to live. It's like very unsafe and police officer cannot do anything. No, it's not at all. But there's like some trending of the crimes and the kind of things. There's just like a few reminder points you should memorize all the time.
There is some over expressed in the news.
Yes, I think sometimes media need an attraction. something more spicy things. Like it's really dangerous. Like a few years ago, it's like San Francisco, beautiful city, but it's not look like a few decades here or a dozen years ago, something like that. So like media needs attention, and they try to attracting people with more like spicy words and a sentence to make some attention grabbing. But yeah, I think in some aspects they're like empathizing specific very small things, like making bigger, and this is everything about the San Francisco. It's like very generalize it and like hypothetically. So of course it's true. It's happening something on the news is true, but not every day, not every each of second. So yeah, you don't have to concern about it that much.
That's cool. Then, what is the biggest difference between United States and Korea?
Of course, it's cultural things and how people think. Of course, like regardless of country, every world is full of human beings. So it's a part of human nature. We are practiced by our self-interest, but there are some like differences with the cultural things. Like basically, America is like more acceptable with free expressions. At least in California, it's like people do whatever they want to do, and people don't care what you're doing. Like you're singing or just playing guitar on the street and just like take a walk, nobody cares. Dress like something weird, very bad color, not matching style, not make sense fashion sense, even though people don't cares about it. But in Korea, you might judged by that. It's like, example, I'm wearing a white jacket right now. If I wear this one in Korea, well, honestly, I'm not gonna wear this jacket in Korea because I know, oh, what is this fancy guy over here? It's like, so yeah, I'm a little bit scared of getting judged by people. But of course, people over here, they judge people too, but I don't think they're expressing how they're judging people that much. But in Korea, maybe I felt it because I'm a Korean, but I think people's like more open to judge someone by on their perspective.
Then, what do you think is a somewhat overrated culture of the United States?
As I mentioned, America is the same. Human beings living here too. Maybe there are a lot of more white people, black people, Hispanics, or Europeans, but still, it's just human being place. So people not gonna take a risk to help you, like you watch a show and then like in movies or dramas, like it's something very dramatic, touching stories. It's not happening that much. And America seems like very free too, as I mentioned before, like more free of speech and freedom of behavior, something like that. But American people judge too, like it gossips, like talking back a lot too, because we are human beings. That's a human nature. So I just want to say the overrated part is like we think America is like a just superior because United States dollars is economically very powerful and American lives look so great, like nice car, nice house, playing with the dog and a grass field, something like that. But it's also followed by a lot of sacrifices and like tough time as well. So it's kind of the same. So I would like to say maybe life in Korea and America is pretty same, but just different directions and a path.
How do you think about USA as an international student?
Well, being an international student in America is like very unique. We are very common, but as well as very unique. American students, like to them, is really natural. Everything is natural. You graduate from high school or getting another like a degree and go to the college. It's just okay and common. So I would say I'm gaining like one of the best country in the world's perspective. Being a part of it, it's a very unique experience. But sometimes I feel like I'm very small because I'm just like a one random alien from another country, like one of the Asian country. So sometimes I feel like kind of abandoned and I cannot be part of the society. But sometimes in general, I feel like, yeah, I'm learning something new. I'm just like absorbing everything from a bit. Yeah, it's kind of unique and ironic.
Okay, that's cool. Then, did you ever experience any cultural shock in the US?
I have a classroom culture shocks. I would say not just for Korea, but most of Asian country, we have to be really respectful to the instructors. So professors, teacher, but in here, sometimes students raising hand to express their opinion about some certain topic, they use a lot of bad words like F words or some bad words to the professor. And that was like sounds very disrespectful to me. But professors also just nodding head and understanding maybe that's an acceptable thing in the America. And to the desk they put like a shoes onto it like this, like onto the desk and do this
The class?
and during the class. And professor giving a lecture and explain something and you just like and put your feet onto the table. And a lot of students actually just watching their cell phone, like texting or check their social medias a lot and don't make eye contact with the professor at all. It's just like goes like this. So yeah, that was like a little bit culture shock to me.
That is general in US?
I was really have a curiosity of that question, so I asked to friends around me who are in like very famous school, especially here in Northern California, UC Berkeley and Stanford students. Yeah, some of students still doing that, even like a very top famous like name school. So I would say like a little bit rely on to yeah maybe that's American culture. Whatever they want to do, they do.
That's very interesting. Then, were there any difference between your perception of the US before you came and what you experienced when you arrived?
Yeah, I think I drastically changed a lot. As I said, I became more open-minded person and I can express myself more freely without any restriction. Because in Korea, I have to think multiple times to express my things. Like, this is the time I say something about this, like elevate some my concerns and issue to my supervisor in the workplace. And what's gonna be happen if I tell this to my friends? Like, what is the expected response from of them? Like that. I concerned about it too much, but over here, I don't want to say I'm not like rude or something, but I can express myself more in a more natural way.
That's cool. Then, what is the life being a Korean in American university?
I experiencing a lot of some good things and the bad things both. Of course, good thing is like the recognition of Korea with the K culture, BTS and Korean food like a kimchi and recently kimbap or those kind of things is very phenomenal. It's like every people who sees me, if they know Korean culture, they talking about K-pop first. Like, oh, BTS, like Le Seraphim, like something like that. So I'm kind of getting a benefit from a bit, but unfortunately, I have no idea what the K-pop's like. I don't listen to K-pop that much. Yeah, that's a cultural awareness and a recognition is really helpful to make myself from like very developed and wealthy country, so I give it like kind of good impression in a superficial way. But in bad way is, anyways, I'm from Asia and Korea, and some of people think we're just like part of China or like similar with China and Japan, something like that. So there are a lot of microaggression cases, like say hi to me like with bowing this because we don't do in general not that much, and telling me I like teriyaki chicken or something like that. This is actually Japanese food, not a Korean one. So Asian culture seems pretty similar. So yeah, being a Korean is significantly make a differences by K-pop and the Korean culture and Korean food, but sometimes we are generalized as a just East Asian.
Then, have you ever experienced some xenophobia in America?
In California is like very minor because it's strictly prohibited by the law. It's an anti-discrimination law. You're not supposed to say like, "Oh, I don't like Asians" or like, "I don't like white people," something like that. So I didn't experience that much, but I just reminded one thing. That was like second day of my school, back to 2022. There's like a one tall European blonde guy, but he was very tall. And he was like passing by on campus with me, and he told me like "Ching Chang Chong," and I was like automatically reacted, "Oh, that's Chinese, but I'm Korean." Nice try. So yeah, I was like reacted very naturally, but it's not pleasure experience, of course. But I just took it as like a joke. It's very serious thing, but to exclude myself from of those kind of racism issues and a stressful like environment. 'Cause if I have to concern each of things about like racism issue, I'm feeling like getting a paranoia or something. So I just wanted to step it out from like very sensitive issues sometimes myself. So I'm just taking like lightly. Yeah, that was a very direct racism issue happen upon to me.
Okay, then, do you think American are welcoming to Korean?
Well, they are economically giving a beneficial to our government and our educational field, but in a cultural aspect, I would say no, because as I mentioned, Korea is like a one nation country, and we spend very long time just ourselves, and we're just about to open our like immigration policies and be more welcoming like people from around the world. But we have a lot of issues like a refugee issues and like a cultural issues too. So I don't think we're like 100% open to bring more international students to Korea, but I would say we're changing right now.
Okay, that's good. Then, what do you think the good culture and bad culture in America?
I think good culture is every people has a different goal. So whatever you do, whatever you want to do, mostly you'll be respected. And which is mean is a very personalized society. So that's also bad aspect too. It's too personalized. So even you're like get in trouble or you're experiencing something bad, sometimes nobody cares about you. like you lost your way and you just like literally hanging around, it's like with your cell phone, like taking a look map. Most of people don't paying attention. It's like, oh, whatever. So like whatever you do, maybe nobody pay attention to you. So maybe that's a good aspect of like feel more released, or you didn't have to concern about people that much. But as well as that's a bad aspect as well. So personalized society.
Then how do you think about tips culture in America?
Well, it's confusing. To me, it's very confusing because like I had a $15 of some cuisine in a restaurant, but actually I'm paying like 20, 23, something like that. Okay. Because they are excluded tax as well, not included tip as well. But some of restaurants has started to put mandatory tips. Like even we don't want to pay tip, we have to pay because it's fixed. But anyways, I have to pay more. I feel bad. But if that is a one of the way I can support the restaurant manager, restaurant servers, like a staffs to maintain their life. So they're doing their job to live. And I experience their service. Of course, I need to pay for their service as well. So in a like very big macro perspective, giving a tip, like stepping outside of the minimum wage, because some of the restaurants don't give a minimum wage to the restaurant service and the staff. So in that perspective, it's needed, not essential.
That's cool. Then what do you think about Korean's good culture and bad culture?
I think good culture of Korea is basically it's very optimistic, very efficient. Like people's like running very fast, work hard, work fast too. Like administration things, we go like government agency to get some paper about some proof or something. They deal it with perfectly, very very fast. We respond text, we respond phone call very fast too. And I think also that's a kind of bad as well. It's like pali pali culture because people getting stressed by that. Every day we're living under pressure that we have to process something fast ASAP. I think those kind of things causing a lot of stress from people and some like disease. I've seen a lot of people struggling with the digestion issue because even they have to eat very fast to go back to their workplace. So I would say fast culture, efficient culture, that's a pro, but as well as it causing a lot of bad things too.
Okay, then have you ever been in a relationship with an American student?
I had a date over here. Some of them are American, some of them are not. Well, in a relationship, it's a little bit different in the Americas. I was just saying like a dating. Yeah, I dated with some people who are from America, who are not from America, even from America, from like, but different states, like from like East Side of America or South Side of America. Yeah, so I have those kind of relationship experiences.
Then what are the characteristics of another country's dating?
Compared with Korea, Korea is like more committed. We count the days, everything, and we promise each other, okay, this is our first date to be a boyfriend and girlfriend. But in America, there was like very loose. There's no strict intention. Like just started to talk each other, and if you get a tone, if you get a like goodbye, oh, this person looks pretty good to me. Then keep talking, hang out, go eat together, go drink sometimes, and just like go to the good places to take a picture and just hang out, and naturally develop to the relationship status or dating status, something like that. So I would say Korea is like a more based on promises and committed things, but in the Americas, a go by flow.
Then what was the hardest food to eat in the United States?
Well, as an Asian, I didn't actually experience any kind of like challenge or hard food to eat over here, but I would say something unfamiliar from my culture, especially like a Middle East food, like a Persian food or Burma food, like a halal foods, those kind of things. They have a lot of restrictions and then like different procedures. So those are like very unfamiliar to me, but I was like very familiar with them. Japanese food, Chinese food, European food like Italians, French, and but general American food as well. So I would say Middle East food.
Okay, then let's finish this interview.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.